Okay, and we are back at the finals of the Paragon Games Ruby Open. My name's Kanishka. I'm joined in the booth by Jacob Golding.
Hi everyone.
Okay, and our players, I think they're ready to go. So looks like this is the finalist, JP Kelly, managing to make it to the finals with his Esper Midrange deck, which we saw on camera earlier, and Tyler Kent, 2 matches in a row on camera, and showing us what he's got in all of these matches.
Yeah, so Tyler's on Blue-White Flash, a deck that is blue-white mainly because of cards like Reflector Mage and Spell Queller, and is looking to generate tempo and advantage through those, and finish the game off with some hard hitters like Everson.
Seems
and
good.
JP is playing really quite a similar build. He's going harder on things like well, the main difference is he's added a black splash for Scrap Heap Scrounger, which is aiming to get him further into the late game. He's gone down a bit on Reflector Mage, down to 3, where most decks play 4, and he's kind of stripped out a bit of the spirit synergies by not playing Rattle Chains.
Yeah.
So yeah, JP, you'll see some black mana there. He's already got in his mana base, and yeah, the only things that require black mana in his deck being Shambling Vent and the Scavenger.
Scrounger. Yep.
Scrounger.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. So interesting card to bring in. So I mean, presumably he was expecting to see a lot of control decks trying to sort of get ahead with 1-for-1 removal.
Yeah.
This being sort of a recurring threat can be really powerful. I'm not sure how much of an advantage it's actually going to be in this matchup, though.
Yeah, I don't think that if Tyler's deck is doing what he wants it to, there's probably not going to be much of a chance for JP to get much advantage from Scrap Heap's Scrounger, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him taking that out.
First board,
yeah, first board.
Okay.
But really, these decks are quite similar in terms of what they're trying to do.
Yep. Okay. Okay, and I think we have an idea about why JP was willing to. I mean, I think that the trade was quite fair anyway for the 2 Selfless Spirits, but he did have a backup.
Yes. Tyler using the Stasis Snare there to take care of the Thopter before it attacks and after it's crewed. So yeah, Tyler will probably be spending a lot of the late game interacting in instant speed, and that's why the deck is Blue-White Flash. It gets to leave up mana and then interact with some spirits at instant speed, and also stuff like Stasis Snare. So you see dueling Reflector Mages happening.
Okay. So the player's playing a bit of a tempo game.
Yep. I think at the moment Tyler is probably happier with how the game has gone so far. He's been able to establish that tempo, and he's starting to get in some damage. So the board is relatively even for both players at the moment. Tyler would of course like to have drawn a land to keep developing that, but
this is definitely one of the ways that JP gets ahead with.
Yeah, in general I think that the boards are kind of even, and that's a game state that favours Tyler, especially with both people having cards in hand.
Right, yeah. But JP managed to get 2 spells under Spell Queller here, so he'll be happy about that.
Yep.
Chooses not to attack.
Yeah, I think he's acknowledged that he probably won't be able to race effectively at this point, and unless Tyler waits a little bit longer, and letting Tyler get in too many copter triggers is going to be quite detrimental to JP being able to progress through this game. But at the moment, we have the second Stasis Snare. Tyler's gonna be really happy with that.
Yeah.
So
and he found his land as well. So.
Yeah, the perfect turn for Tyler, really. He was able to avoid trading Copter for Selfless Spirit. He got in 3 damage. He activated Copter. He traded Stasis Snare for JP's Copter, and basically everything that Tyler wanted to do that turn.
Yep. Okay, so free to attack at this point, no vehicles to crew, and nothing to play around, so
yeah,
just getting in while he can.
And we know that Tyler can keep getting in that damage because he's got a Reflector Mage in hand, courtesy of JP's Reflector Mage.
Yeah. But I think he'd like to give JP the chance to chump with his
JP does have 5 untapped mana here.
Whoa.
And it's not untapped anymore.
Could they be Stasis Stand number 3?
Well, there are 3 in the main deck.
Would not fault Tyler for casting one here. Everson's a pretty good target.
Yeah, so we've got a double block from JP, just kind of saving anything. And
oh, wow.
Tyler's going to flash in Selfless Spirit because of that Rattle Chains, and he's going to be able to sacrifice it to keep his Stasis Snare up.
Wow. And of course
like the Mage bouncing the Avacyn.
Yep. And of course that is because Spirit spells, Rattle Chains allow Spirit spells to be cast as they had Flash, which is a pretty powerful effect when you can flash in an indestructible combat trick.
Yep.
Yeah. So not too bad there.
Unfortunately for Tyler, Avacyn's not the best thing to be Reflector Maging. Because of the wording of Reflector Mage, JP will be able to cast that at instant speed during Tyler's turn. So it is now Tyler's next turn after he casts the Reflector Mage. So JP is able to cast Avacyn because he has Flash. But he is going to be aware of that, and now Tyler does have the 3rd Stasis Snare, which is going to take care of that Avacyn.
Okay. That's the thumbs up from Tyler. He knows things are going well here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tyler empty-handed, so that Copter has done some good work. It's been able to churn through the cards in his library. Got another Reflector Mage though from JP.
Which lets him get in for 2 damage. It's not irrelevant.
Although again, these things with Flash, not necessarily the most ideal targets for Reflector Mage.
At least this can't be cast this turn though, so...
so the...
okay, JP's got his own version, which is met with the Spell Queller.
Spell Queller there. Oh dear.
Tyler's got it all this time. Okay. And he gets to crew on his turn and attack for 3.
Yeah. So that... The Stasis Stand does not resolve.
Of course, if JP has a way to remove that Spell Queller now, he does get to snag some sort of a threat.
Yes,
I'm not sure how much he's got since we do that.
Yeah, JP, I don't think he really has anything beyond the Stasis Snares, really. And
There's 2 more in the deck, you might find.
He's playing 3 main board, similar to Tyler. But yeah. No, all he's left with is a bunch of Reflector Mages.
He's also got that Gideon down there. And now the window is open to get that down.
Yep.
Fortunately, it's facing that Spell Queller.
Yeah, and I think Tyler would be able to knock it down. Probably not kill it, but knock it down quite a bit. Certainly if Tyler's able to find a Reflector Mage. And there we go. Is that a second?
Yeah, he did find second Stasis. Okay, well, sort of
Stasis Snares for days from both players here. That's the 5th Stasis Snare that's been played. There is only 1 Stasis Snare left in both piles of 75 combined. So they've all come out today.
Okay. Well, the Reflector Mage getting to wow, just keep getting value in there. These Reflector Mages. I feel like we're back in the last standard format.
Yeah. Yeah, and that the timing of the Reflector Mage ability is something that is actually was much more relevant in the past standard because Reflector Mage was entering the battlefield at instant speed with Collected Company. And yes, that was something that needed to be thought about quite a bit.
And then there's the sort of big mess of exiled creatures.
Yeah.
Spells.
We've got a lot of stuff going on.
It's possibly the most Stasis Snares I've seen on
I don't think I've seen more.
Yeah.
The Hedrons are doing some good work.
Yeah.
Not restraining Eldrazi, but restraining threats to the plane of Zendikar nonetheless. These infestations of copters and angels and nonsense like that.
And Gideon does come down.
Yep. So we've got a Gideon for JP. And Tyler empty-handed now. JP really has been able to keep presenting threats and been drawing answers at the right speed. So they're just gonna throw everything together in a big pile of exile on the plane of Zendikar.
Okay, I think both players have no way to really interact with those enchantments. So
aside from the one Stasis Snail left
that
in
could-
JP's deck.
right. Yep.
Yes.
Well, Stasis can't hit other enchantments. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay. So
It's very useful that the the two players are using different coloured sleeves at the moment.
yeah,
It'll
trouble
make it
otherwise.
an easy pile to sift through. So yeah, we've got an Avacyn here for Tyler.
I'm trying to work out why that copter died.
Yeah, interesting. Copter should have been indestructible. But that Avacyn was quite good.
Yeah. That was definitely Avs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no other
So-
flip cards in
Fairly certain
Tyler's deck,
Copter should still be on
except
the
for a
battlefield.
Westvale Abbey.
See if something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Players are continuing. Right. Okay. So Avacyn was cast
okay.
first, and the crew happened afterwards. Right. Okay. So
Okay.
missed the trigger.
Yeah, so it is something you need to be careful of when playing with these vehicles. They need to be
Creatures.
crewed at the right time. Yeah.
Alright, well, it's turned into a pretty close game.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler's done pretty well to claw his way back here.
Interesting that Tyler deciding to attack JP himself instead of attacking Gideon. I think that's realizing that,
He can't afford to be attacking Gideon.
yeah, getting Gideon down to 1 doesn't actually do much here, because it's still going to take another attack.
Mhm.
Whereas,
And Tyler would die to the crackback anyway.
Yeah.
There's 6 power on the board, and
Mhm.
plus the Gideon would tick up again. So
Mhm.
it's all out of stasis snares, unfortunately.
oh, and that other Smuggler's Copter might just do it for JP. It's going to give him another blocker for that Avacyn. But Tyler's going to be able to draw a card. He's throw an Inspector if he wants to. And the Inspector also gives him another blocker, which is probably quite useful.
Yeah.
JP's going to decide, yeah, I think it's too risky to take that damage from the Avacyn.
Yeah.
And being able to loot with the Smuggler's Copter is probably going to be very useful. And I think JP drew an Avacyn. I'm not sure, but I think the card that, yeah, pretty sure that's an Avacyn in hand that he
Okay.
got off the Smuggler's Copter and
well-
another Gideon. So
I believe the 4/4 Indestructible Angel trumps a 4/4 non-destructible angel.
it does, yeah.
Alright.
Although, can we just check? I think if the Smuggler's Copter died, the Avacyn should have flipped from Tyler, which may.
That was
that was a-
JP's own one. Is that right?
No, it was a couple of turns ago when Tyler's
right.
Copter died. So,
Interesting.
yeah, we might just let the players know that. We'll try and pause this game.
See what's happening.
So we'll just pause the game for you, and we're going to try and let the judge know.
So yeah, a lot of sort of strange interactions happening there. So we'll see. The judge is nearby watching the game, so we'll make sure that nothing's been missed here,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see what how this is resolved. Okay,
Yeah,
it looks
so
like it's too far
Tyler's
back.
missed the trigger there. That's a shame, because having that activation would have been
cleared the board.
quite good. And being able to attack for 9. Although it would have ended up trading with JP's Smuggler's Copter if JP had been able to create another blocker, which probably would have with Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is, it's not looking good for Tyler at the moment.
Yep.
because these Avacens are going to be bash up against each other, and JP's is going to win that fight.
Okay, what an interesting game. Okay. It looks like JP might have this one. Looks like a lot of power coming in.
Yeah, so that's an emblem
there.
from Gideon, so that means that only 2 creatures need to get into the battlefield.
And he's got a second Gideon to follow up with.
Yeah.
Which I suspect
He's
is
going to make
here.
another emblem immediately. Gideon's going to sacrifice himself. Quite a noble sacrifice.
Yeah, that's Gideon.
For the plane of Zendikar.
And yeah, that's a game.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. I've got to sort through the pile of stasis snares. There we go.
Okay, well, okay, let's look at the sideboard. So, let's see if these players came sort of prepared for these kinds of matches. I imagine Blue-White Flash would have been on the radar for JP coming into this match.
Well, I think his deck is a derivative of that deck. So he started there and kind of trimmed a couple of the flash elements for a bit more of a more powerful late game. Yeah. So JP, things like Skyway Eavesdrop might be a consideration. That kills an Avacen. It also kills a Smuggler's Copter. Hang on. I don't think that's JP's sideboard because that's got Chandra's in it.
Absolutely right.
JP's sideboard has got things like Immolating Glare, which is going to be quite good at stopping some of Tyler's evasive threats. It's got Spell Shrivel, which might be good. Ceremonious Rejection, which I don't think will be coming in. Declaration in Stone, maybe. Negate is a potential consideration to stop things like Gideon and Stasis now, and opposing removal spells. Blessed Alliance is just a very good all-around spell. He's also got Fumigate, which might be a consideration in terms of whether he wants to go more aggressive or more controlling against Tyler, and he's also got the 4th Reflect Image in the sideboard. So really I think JP has a lot of options. As we were talking, I think he's taking out those Scrap Heap Scroungers, and I think he's also taking out a Gideon or 2 and some Spell Quellers by the looks of things.
So you might just want to, I imagine in this deck, you just want to take out those cards that just really get punished by a Spell Queller. And Gideon's definitely one of these cards. As powerful as he is, it's a huge mana commitment. And to have that flashed, especially when you're the one's spending 4 mana, your opponent gets to spend their entire turn 3 eating up that spell. That can be pretty backbreaking. Yeah,
so I definitely think that JP is moving more towards a controlling build. I think I saw some Fumigates coming in, and I expect the Declaration in Stone and Immolating Glare to come in as well, along with potentially some other things.
Okay. And Tyler, what's he got here?
Yeah, so Tyler has got kind of the similar type of cards, although I think he will be sideboarding a bit less. I think his deck is much more suited to the aggressive, acting his opponent's end step, and doing that sort of stuff. So he may bring in Declaration in Stone, but I don't think that that's what his game plan is going to be.
Yeah, it looks like his main deck is pretty well suited.
He might even bring in a Thalia, or the Thalias.
Right.
They seem just slowing down JP's defenses. Because a lot of JP's defenses are creature based, as opposed to some other decks where it might be spell based or interaction removal.
And if Tyler decides he wants to be sort of on the beatdown, Talia is going to be a good way to do that too.
And being on the play, I think that's definitely where Tyler will be looking to steer his deck.
Okay. Okay, and I think they're just getting Mulligan sorted.
Yep. Yeah, so it's interesting to see here two slightly different takes on what is essentially the same deck. We've seen so far in the field today, we've seen a lot of red-white vehicles. We've seen a little bit of this blue-white flash deck, and we've seen a lot of energy decks, be that the combo version of Pummeler or the general aggressive version that plays more Lethal Hellions and stuff like that. But yeah, both of these players have identified blue-white as a powerful archetype, and I think that it really is kind of the one with a target on its head at the moment in the format. It's emerged as kind of the most powerful in the most recent set of tournaments that we've had. And yeah, JP's taken his own take on that by adding a little bit of black.
Yeah. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I think JP's taking a mulligan.
Okay.
Which we'll be pleased to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, both of these decks do kind of need some mana. Again, I reckon. Yeah, JP will be taking out things like those Toolcraft exemplars. Scrap Heap Striker. So,
I think that JP's really has put himself in a position where his deck can go in either direction. Once he identifies whether he's meant to be playing the beatdown or the control, his sideboard tools and the flexibility of cards like Reflector Mage and Spell Queller as both offensive and defensive cards really allow him to switch gears quite quickly.
Okay, and it looks like we are going ahead.
Turn 1 Thraben Inspector off the plains.
Something like this format?
Yeah, you're going to have to get used to that. Selfless Spirit from Tyler. Selfless Spirit, not really a card that is talked about often. Like here, obviously Reflector Mage and Spell Queller being some of the most important cards in the blue-white flash deck and the Galactic Company decks of the past standard format. But Selfless Spirit definitely holds its own. You see a second one coming down from Tyler.
Yeah, and we saw how powerful this was in the last game where Tyler was able to protect basically his entire board from way behind on his life. Just by having a bunch of Selfless Spirits on the board. They just give you so much utility. They can attack when you're able to attack. And they just sit there protecting your board.
Just being a 2/1 flyer for 2 mana is surprisingly powerful in this format, and the indestructible ability is very strong.
Wow.
Yeah. This is really what Tyler wants his deck to be doing.
Especially on the Plages.
Getting down creatures with flying, and Reflector Maging blockers.
Just using his mana like in every turn. Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
And there is the card that has defined mini games. Just does all sorts of things. Attacks, defense. It can be a sacrifice trigger for Avacyn. You can protect your team after Avacyn.
You can.
Flips, there's just all sorts of things.
So Gideon comes down here and is going to start spitting things out, but Tyler's got 4 power in the air already, which is more than enough to
deal with the Gideon.
To take it down. See 2 Selfless Spirits stuck in hand for JP, which are kept there from the pesky Reflector Mage. It's always good. Like, sometimes you don't know that happens, but then when the turn after they play 2 of the card that you Reflector Maged, it feels quite good. You've just really set them behind. So obviously that Gideon play on the previous turn was a suboptimal play. All it did was really gain JP for life and make it 2/2, all for 4 mana. That was his whole turn. It's not really what he wants to be doing.
Both players just trading off the Selfless Spirits there. Fair exchange. There's the clue that doesn't belong in the group.
It's interesting though that either player could have chosen to save one of their Selfless Spirits. They decided that it was more advantageous for them to trade off both of them than it was to keep one around, and we see why both players made that decision.
Because they both had extras.
Because they both had backups. I think JP wins though.
Okay, so it was the status in his last round, and we get the Selfless Spirits this time. These players are consistent with nothing else.
Yes. Who do you think wins in a battle between Stasis Snare and Selfless Spirit?
I think it's actually Selfless Spirit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The second response and
Selfless Spirit saves more creatures.
Oh wow!
So
it's time to just get these tokens
that,
coming
that
out.
West
of
Vale
West
Abbey, which
kind of
has been sitting in his lands for a couple of turns now, but now he's going to be able to build up potentially to Ormondal Profane Prince.
He actually just needs 2 more creatures before he gets there. So this is actually a bit of a problem for JP.
He's left up 7 mana. So JP has to be worrying about something like an Avacyn, although Tyler hasn't played it in a number of turns, which he probably would have. So JP's probably not expecting an Avacyn out of Tyler. The only way that could happen is if Tyler just drew it. But there's a lot of cards that Tyler could be playing. And we see a second West Vale Abbey there. And indeed, he's brought in Thalers.
So, yeah, one thing, although flipping Ormondal is always fun, Tyler does have to be careful of the fact that he knows JP is playing Stasis Net.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, Reflector Mage deals with Ormondal.
And Tyler, speak of Stasis Net.
Let's
sparkle the resolve, hit the spell, and then it's the spell killer.
And again, it's important to let the spell killer trigger resolve before Stasis Snaring it and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
You don't want your Thalia exiled forever.
Yeah, that would be bad. Promises to be pretty good here.
Yeah.
Again, with flash threats, Avacyn can't come in and surprise block something anymore.
Yep. Thalia is surprisingly powerful. There are some games where your opponent just doesn't care about it, but there are some games where just having everything come into play tapped gets very annoying, especially when your game plan is to interact on your opponent's turn.
Yep.
And to have those surprise blockers and to have Avacyn show up out of nowhere. It's can surprisingly add up. And that's why it's in the sideboard for Tyler, because he really wants it against
specific types of decks.
Yeah.
So Tyler's just continuing to make tokens now. So even if he doesn't Ormondal, having these extra bodies on the board could be what decides the match. So
I think that Tyler is probably going. I think there's a spell queller there. It's
not bad.
Excellent draw from Tyler. I think Tyler's considering making Ormondal at the moment. He's got to be thinking about what is the benefit of doing it now. Should he be waiting potentially? Does he have enough mana to do it and leave Spell Queller up? Which creatures to sacrifice? Because I certainly think that he wants to keep that Thalia around.
The other thing, I did spy a card in JP's hand. Blessed Lights.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So
Tyler, maybe considering that card as well.
There's an Avacyn too from JP.
Alright,
so I think that Tyler passed the turn there, not going all in on the Ormondal. So
seems fair. He's not like it's not like he's about to lose the game, and Ormondal wouldn't win the game on the spot either. So no real reason to pull the trigger.
No, and this lets him leave up Spell Queller, and he can also just sit there and keep activating. Although one argument for doing it is that he does have 2 of these West Vale Abbeys.
Yep.
So worst comes to worst, he can try and rebuild. Although that is a while
costly
away.
and time consuming. Actually, here is the flip side. So JP taking some time to look at that card, realizing that is a big deal. Ooh, Fumigate.
That was sacrifice Selfless Spirit, cast Fumigate. That's quite powerful.
Wow.
So this is kind of either forcing the issue, or
so he's forced it. Okay. Of course, Ormondal has Indestructible, so Fumigate will not stop that happening.
So Tyler's going to sack his 5 creatures, and then the Thalia is going to die to the Fumigate.
Yeah. So relevant to sacking the. It means that JP gains 1 life instead of 6 as well.
Yep. although a 9/7 flying lifelink indestructible haste creature
Yeah.
is going to be quite hard for JP to beat.
Yeah.
Lloyd has been able to flip his Avacyn.
Does Tyler have a way to answer that Avacyn? Wow, and I think JP is still sitting there with the Blessed Alliance in his hand, so
Yeah.
Tyler has to be thinking about this guy.
Yeah.
And he's got his spell collar.
He does.
Wow. Not bad.
That's a very good card to spell collar as well, because it means that even if JP is able to deal with spell collar,
unless it's in combat, it's
Yeah.
not really going to do much. He might gain 4 life
exactly.
or attack a creature maybe.
Yeah. But it's certainly not going to have as much of an effect as it would have had it resolved just then. That's
that
really
swing in life is huge there.
yeah.
It's just
That's a good way of
That's a
dealing with
little bit
Omendal.
of it really is. Ouch. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Tyler is too unhappy about that though. Like, sure,
Omendal's done a pretty good job there.
yeah, he is facing down an Avacyn. But he has a second Westvale Abbey. He's not happy about the Gideon. But his opponent is on 6. He's got at least a couple of turns to be thinking about with that Avacyn. And he's got his own Avacyn,
Okay.
which is going to let him
Double.
potentially.
Is it a double
He can
block on
attack.
Avacyn?
No, he can attack for the win next turn.
He's
He's got 6 power in play.
That's in the
I
sky.
think that's Tyler winning this game.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, so he had the spell queller, chose not to, or did he draw that turn?
No, he drew the Avacyn a turn, I believe,
Right,
and then
okay.
was able to flash it in at the end of JP's turn
Alright,
and swing for the win.
not bad. Wow, okay, what a game. I'm
Yeah.
really happy that we're going to game 3 here.
Yeah, that was
That's
really tight and some really interesting decisions on Tyler's side in terms of when to go for the Omendal.
Yeah.
And he decided to wait a little bit, and that made JP force the issue, and hoping that the Blessed Alliance would keep him alive, but unfortunately the spell queller really let Tyler get in that one hit, which effectively ended the game. It was effectively that 9, the 18-point life swing that comes about from Omendal connecting. Really, I think is what the game hinged around.
Absolutely. Yeah, but both players, I think playing pretty well there. I didn't really see anywhere that these players maybe could have done something that would have increased their odds too much.
No,
So,
I think they're both playing really well, and Tyler making the right decisions.
Oh, and I think JP either still had the Scrappy Scroungers in there, or he's heading into his deck now.
I think he kept 1 or 2 in the main.
Okay.
I think he trimmed Gideons and he trimmed Scroungers and he trimmed the Toolcraft Exemplar.
Right.
I think now being on the play, he might be shifting back into more of an aggressive role.
Right.
Being able to potentially get in under spell quellers and go around that. So
Looks like Tyler actually put the rattle chains back in.
Yep.
Okay. What might he be doing?
I think that is it's another good consideration, because he's now on the draw, and being able to play things at instant speed becomes more and more important. Instead of things like getting his Reflector Mage down, not Reflector Mage, sorry, the Selfless Spirit at instant speed, and being able to deal with that. It also might be a consideration after having seen Fumigate out of the sideboard of JP, and potentially wanting to have
Play around these sorts of
the instant speed action from that.
Right, being able to flash into Selfless Spirit. And,
And Tyler now, it's going to be a bit harder to have he won't have the natural tempo advantage of playing first. And I think that Rattle Chains having the tap down ability and letting him play his other things at instant speed, he needs the extra ability to get advantage from that.
Okay, well, it should be a good one. Again, very sort of similar decks. It's slightly different strategies, but they seem to be well matched. And supposedly these players, this is pretty interesting. Both these players is the first Paragon event they've managed to come along to.
Yep.
And they made their way into the finals.
Yeah, yeah. I know
impressive.
Tyler's wanted to for a while. He's unfortunately one of the group of people who has to work on a Saturday. So he's very happy to be able to come along today, and it looks like we'll be seeing him at the championship as well. So
Yeah,
it looks like he'll have to get work off for that day. Yeah, Tyler, well known in the Canberra community, as is JP. JP,
bit of a veteran.
Yeah, JP's been around a while. He's quite well known for playing Storm in older formats, especially being the person really to get Storm to work in Australian Highlander, which is no small feat. Generating enough Storm and killing your opponent when you're only allowed to have one copy of each card in your deck is quite difficult. So that's kind of what he's known for in the Canberra community.
Okay. So Tyler on multi-5, sorry, 6.
Yep.
Being on the draw, not as painful as it could be.
You can see an Avacyn in there.
2 Avacyn's.
And a Gideon, is that?
I think so.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a slow draw.
Okay, but I guess he's just saying these are like the best cards in my deck. This game's not going to end particularly fast. I'll probably get to cast them, so let's see how things go for him.
Certainly, the haymaker potential of those cards is very high. So it depends on JP's draw. JP's going to start with a Smuggler's Copter.
Yep.
He's going to draw on a land and develop his mana base. Let's see, JP's got a Declaration in Stone there, a Thraben Inspector, a Selfless Spirit. So he's got, a decent hand. He doesn't have any blue mana though, but I think that's fine because I don't see any blue threats in his hand.
And I think playing that Selfless Spirit is pre-combat just to play around maybe a card like in the Waning Glare or something.
Yeah.
But, okay, he chose not to attack anymore.
Interesting that he chose not to attack.
Blessed Alliance, maybe we were thinking about that. Yeah, Tyler managed to get some tempo there. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So that was a nice draw for him.
Yeah. So I think we probably will see an attack this turn from JP now that Tyler's tapped out. Gonna draw a Smuggler's Copter and probably discard the same Smuggler's Copter. Yep.
Seems reasonable.
He has found blue mana though, in form of Prairie String. He's going to play his own Gideon before Tyler has the opportunity to get his down.
Okay.
So Tyler's going to draw a second Gideon. It's really not what he wants to see here.
Yeah.
I think JP is certainly in the lead this game, especially with that Smuggler's Copter that's going to be able to pressure Tyler's Gideon.
Yep.
Although next turn, Tyler's going to be able to flash in an Avacyn, which...
yeah, that could make all the difference.
Yeah.
Especially being able to dodge that Declaration in Stone in JP's hand.
Yep.
Means that he'll probably at least get an attack in. And JP indicating that he's planning to Emblem immediately.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay. So going for the beatdown.
Yep.
Just wants to take the... Okay.
It's going to take care of that Gideon. Yeah. No, I like that play from JP. It's going to turn it from, having to take 2 attacks and gaining Tyler 6 life to just cleanly dealing with Gideon. Preventing Tyler from developing his board.
Yeah, and his board is just way outclassing Tyler's right now. A 2-3, 3-3 and a 3-2 flyer. So not too bad. Gets the draw card at the end of turn 2.
Yeah. So JP has to expect Avacyn out of Tyler this turn.
Okay, so we're crowing the Copter. And attacking with the 2-3-9 as well.
Discard a Shambling Event and Avacyn number 1.
Okay. Gets a double block.
This is going to be quite favourable for Tyler. He's in the end, this turn only going to deal with the Selfless Spirit.
Yep.
But JP is going to Declaration in Stone that Avacyn, and probably, I would say, not expect another Avacyn from Tyler next turn.
Yeah.
Tyler did mulligan, and he hasn't played much for the first few turns, which...
He might be thinking about it.
Yeah, he might... Like, I'm sure he was expecting that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he knew exactly what was going on. But expecting the second one is less likely, especially seeing as though Tyler hasn't missed a land drop. It's entirely plausible that Tyler's just flooded out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there was that Gideon that came down and the Avacyn, so you might be like, these are the two cards
or
he kept.
maybe Tyler has something like a Spell Queller that he hasn't found a target for yet. There are any number of things that explain why Tyler has not been playing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but JP is going to attack, and Tyler is going to be able to this time block the Smuggler's Copter, although JP has an Avacyn of his own, which is going to keep that one alive. So Tyler's finding time to play his second Gideon, and then he's going to get an emblem. Yeah, so that's really necessary, I think, for Tyler to get that in play.
Straight away, just trading Avacyns.
Yeah, it's really important for him to do that, given that JP's got one out. If he doesn't, then for the rest of the game, every single one of JP's creatures is just going to be bigger and better than Tyler's. And because they're playing the same creatures, you know, we've got Thrubbin Inspectors versus Night Allies versus Smuggler's Copters versus Avacyns. It's really important for Tyler to make sure that his creatures are on even standing with JP's.
Yeah. So JP's just got so much value out of this game. Every turn he's got a lead out of it.
Yep. Okay. Tyler's going to animate and block. He's going to turn his own. And then it's going to become indestructible.
So, again, both players just casting the same cards many times a game. So.
It's really a bad spot for Tyler here, though. Being on the play really let JP kind of get out of the gates fast. And when you combine that with the fact that Tyler's first play really was on turn 4 with Gideon, that was quickly dealt with. It's,
Okay, I think that's a Selfless Spirit coming down. So it's going to make combat pretty hard.
Board.
Tyler did have this.
Spell Queller is important there, but he's going to Spell Quell the Spell Quell.
Yeah. Might be the...
So we're getting close to the end of the game, I think.
So I don't believe Tyler's playing any cards like Fumigate in his deck.
No, I can't see him bringing that in. He does have one... no.
There's one on the sideboard. Yeah.
No, it's a Fragmentize.
Right.
No, he doesn't have any. He's really not looking to play the control role.
Yep. Okay, so a tough spot for Tyler.
Yeah. Don't think there's many cards that get him out of this situation. Another Avacyn might give him a bit of time. He does have 2 draws, though, thanks to the clues lying around from Thraben Inspectors and Declaration in Stone.
He's facing a lot of damage in the sky in the following turn. I think that was... Even a card like Declaration doesn't quite do it here.
Yeah, that's
Step
good. Something like an Ormondal, if you can get a couple more creatures in play, might work towards that.
He's going to get to draw 2 cards again in his turns. There is that. And represent a Spell Queller.
Yeah, although JP does have another Reflector Mage in hand, which is going to...
You could just remove that token.
Yeah, just
for good.
Yeah, just get rid of a blocker and send in the team. I can't... It's probably close to lethal. Yeah. So he's got
like a
3... he's got 7 in the air with the Selfless Spirit and the Copter, and one of the other things is going to get through. So unless Tyler has an instant speed blocker, he needs 2, in fact.
And that's it. Okay.
Tyler's not able to put that up. He's got a negate in hand, which was a little late.
Yeah.
And JP, the champion,
takes it down
for the Sapphire Open.
Oh, for the Ruby Open.
Ruby Open. My bad. Ruby Open.
Okay, so congratulations to JP Kelly. Do you recall? He's managed to lock himself a qualification into the Paragon Championship.
Yep. And expect Tyler is very close as well.
Yeah, so if he can make it to another event and get another good finish, that should be at a pretty healthy points total to make it in for that one.
Yeah, so this win gets Tyler
up to 8 points.
8 points.
Yep.
At the moment, it looks like the cutoff will be somewhere between 9 and 8. So, yeah, Tyler might be okay to make it, just based on this finish. We'll have to, depends who gets points at the end of this Open and also throughout the next Open.
Yeah, and speaking of the next Open, so our next event, so we will be continuing on with Standard once again. The next Open will be next week, in fact, on the 5th of November at Jolt Games. So, yeah, same deal as last time, pre-registrations that are open. People who do pre-register do go into a draw to win a Kaladesh bundle as well. So not only do you get to have a great time playing Magic, you can also just get some extra value as well by coming along.
Extra value is great.
Yeah, that's what we love, right? Magic players. Okay, so that'll do it. Until next week, my name is Kanishka Kunratni, and this is
Jacob
Golding. Okay, thanks, Jacob, and congratulations once again to JP. Fantastic work pulling himself a qualification for the championship. Okay, thanks. That'll do it for the stream. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching, guys.